Hello, I'm Jill. Welcome to ASL Stew. So, today I wanted to talk about freelance interpreting. I'm going to give you some pros and cons. So, you might not be aware, but in the past and now I still do some freelance interpreting. When I first graduated, I started freelance interpreting, kind of picking up jobs here and there, the things that I could handle. So I want to talk about what are some of the pros and cons. You might be interested in working freelance. Now, just wanted to mention, I live in an area with a large deaf community, so for you, if you have a smaller deaf community in your area, these might be a little bit different. But let's get started. The first pro is flexible scheduling. As a freelance interpreter, you can pick morning, afternoon, evening hours, whatever you pick. You can look and see what's available, and maybe if you prefer to do night interpreting, you can pick more night jobs. If you prefer more day interpreting, great, pick more day jobs. So it's pretty easy, a lot more flexibility. A con is oftentimes with freelance interpreting, there are no benefits. So that could mean that you have to find your own insurance, and I know right now it can be pretty expensive. I used to have a job when I was working in VRS and doing freelance, which meant I had no benefits. So that's kind of a difficult thing. Another pro is it's more flexible on what type of jobs you want to pick, or what types of jobs you don't want to pick. For example, if I'm working at a college as a staff interpreter, things are assigned to me. I don't get to pick them, so I have no option of what I want. Sometimes you have some option, but most of the time you don't. If you're doing freelance work, then you can see what's available and pick what you want, or decide, no, I don't want that job, and you don't have to pick it. Much easier, more flexible on what jobs you pick. A con is possible financial instability. It might be that this month you have a lot of work and next month you barely have any work or no work. So that means that you have to really become good at budgeting your finances. You never know. You could have a good month, you could have a bad month. Another pro, which I kind of recently mentioned as a con, is you can work however many hours you want for the week or for the month. If there's enough available hours, maybe in 1 month you could work a lot of hours, and then next month you could kind of relax a bit. Maybe you want to work more in the winter and the spring and in the fall time and do a lot of hours then, and then try to kind of relax more or take vacation in the summer. Another con is taxes. They're a lot more complicated. I think it's called independent. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but that means that you have to fill out for your own taxes specific ways. You have to make sure you're saving enough money, and you don't have money taken out of your paycheck every month or weekly, bi-weekly, or whatever. So that means that you have to figure out how much money you're going to have to save or how much you have to pay. I think it is quarterly for your taxes. So that becomes a little complicated. A pro is you can take vacations whenever you want. In freelance, if you're not picking ongoing jobs, that means that you can decide maybe for a week I want to take a vacation and you don't have to work that week. You pick your hours, so you get to pick your vacation time. Like I mentioned, if you want to maybe work fall until spring, you could be off for the summer. And if you can budget your hours and your money well, that means that you could have vacation for the whole summer if you want. A con could be there's less supervision for freelance interpreting. So you might want to improve your skill or have somebody come and observe you, and sometimes that's a little bit difficult because you don't really have a boss who can come and help you to improve your skills. So that means you have to figure it out for yourself, which can be a little bit tough. A pro is that you can pick a variety of jobs if you want, or you can pick more stable type of work. So if you wanted to, maybe you like to have a lot of diversity within your work, you go ahead and pick up new assignments all the time, so it's not the same old humdrum work. Or if you wanted to, you could pick up a little bit more stable assignments, like you could do freelance work at a college. So you're working in a college class, but it's still freelance work. Or maybe if you go to like a weekly meeting or group homework every week, something that's a little more stable, you could pick that. Or if you prefer to spice it up, you could do that and pick up things as you go. A con, which is possible, is you could have less support. In freelance work, that means you don't have like automatic coworkers. You still have other interpreters in the community and you can network with them, but you might not see them every day or, have the same office or be close by. So there's a little bit more effort for that. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge, if you want to maybe have someone to talk about a difficult assignment or just general interpreting things, you really have to put more effort for yourself to try and figure out how to network with other people and maybe set up a group. A pro is that you get to pick a lot of different assignments, meaning you can learn a lot. Even now, working at a college, I still get to learn a lot. But with freelance, you can really pick up all different types of things, meaning you can learn a lot more than just if I'm assigned specific classes. One con is that there are no sick days. Like at my job, if I'm sick, I can call in sick and they will go ahead and find people to replace me. But in freelance, it doesn't work that way. If I'm sick, I should try and connect with other people to find someone to replace me. Sometimes you can contact the agency and inform them that you're sick, but it's best to try and get a replacement yourself. Also, if you're sick, that means you don't get paid. It's not like at a job where I'm staff or something like that where if I'm sick, they'll still pay me. Not with freelance. No work, no pay. A pro is if you're freelance, you're kind of your own boss. Sometimes you might contract with an agency, so they're still, so to speak, your boss, but you get to pick, your hours, the variability that you have, and all of that. So that means you're pretty much your own boss, which is really nice because you can pick the days and times of what type of jobs you want to do. A con is that sometimes that means you're going to have to do a lot of commuting all over the place. For multiple different assignments. That could mean that you have multiple assignments in one day all over the place, or maybe you're working in an area where there's not a lot of deaf people, which means you might have to travel far and wide for each of your assignments. So sometimes that can be a little bit difficult. Now, if you're working at one specific place, like a K through 12 or a college, you tend to stay in one place and that's a little bit easier. So you can do freelance work and try to mostly pick up your hours, in one area like a college or a K through 12 program, but it's not always stable and you might have to go to multiple places. That's generally where you're going to pick up your work all over. Okay, hopefully you guys have learned a little more about the pros and cons related to freelance interpreting. I'm sure there's many more pros and cons, so leave a comment. What do you guys think are more pros and cons for freelance interpreting, whether you're already an interpreter or you're just thinking about becoming one? Let me know. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please click like and remember to subscribe. And also, if you're interested in providing a different way of supporting us, please check out our Patreon page. We really appreciate all of your support. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye! Exactly what would you be interested in?
Shirts, hats,
Stickers.
patches. So we drove to the metro and then we took the metro until we got off at our stop. And we were pretty excited as we were going. And of course,